It's been more than a week since Turkey launched its military operation in northeast Syria, a campaign against the Syrian Kurdish group, the YPG. Turkey says the YPG is the Syrian branch of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, that Turkey, the EU and the US have listed as a terrorist organization. And this operation is to stop what Turkey calls a terror corridor near its border. The US, EU and the Arab League have called on Turkey to halt the operation, a request Ankara has rejected. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has laid out his own conditions on how to end this operation.
Our proposal is that right now, tonight, all the terrorists lay down their arms, their equipment and everything, destroy all their traps and get out of the safe zone that we have designated.
The YPG is an important element of the Syrian Democratic Forces, the SDF, which helped the US push ISIL out of large parts of Syria. But Ankara's offensive against them has prompted the Syrian government to move back into some parts of the northeast under an agreement with the SDF. The Syrian army has not been here in years. An American delegation, including Vice President Mike Pence and the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, are expected in Turkey by Thursday.
President Trump has decided to send the highest level delegation he could possibly send for diplomatic purposes other than himself, right? I mean, the Vice President and the Secretary of State. And I'm sure they're convinced of their own persuasiveness with the full force of the U.S. government behind them. But I think that President Erdogan, there's no chance he's going to implement a ceasefire or allow any mediation until he feels Turkey has achieved the goals that he defined.
Washington has put sanctions on Turkey and is threatening to impose more if the Syrian operation doesn't end. When it comes to Syria, alliances shift quickly on the ground and on the negotiating table. The mainly Kurdish SDF feels abandoned by the US and has now turned to the Syrian government that once called it a traitor. But one thing is clear for Turkey: Kurdish fighter group in northern Syria poses a serious threat to its existence. Sinem, Koseoglu, Al Jazeera, Istanbul.